Welcome to the Irving Veterans Memorial celebration. I believe that Veterans Day is probably one of the most qualified days that we get together and celebrate. Thousands of men and women wake up every day with the mission of defending and protecting our country. We have the opportunity today to honor those that have served, those who are serving, as well as those who have made the ultimate sacrifice and given their life for this country. I had the opportunity to serve with Bob Romano when he and several of you that are in the audience got together and talked about a Veterans Memorial here in Irving. And I saw the work that you went through to plan how the memorial would be laid out and to pick the site. And I was very proud when the citizens of Irving voted a bond election to spend the dollars that we need to build that facility. It's a great opportunity for us to get together and celebrate the freedoms that we have as a country. The rights, the things that we do every day and take for granted, the ability to move around the country freely, the ability to decide where we want to drive, what we want to eat, those are all ensured because of our military and what they do for us and how they protect and defend this great country. So on behalf of the mayor and the city council, I want to welcome you and thank you all for being here today.
Last Memorial Day, I had the opportunity to be with our councilwoman Rose Kennedy to my left here, and we went and were looking out at the park and looking at the memorials, and I said, wouldn't it be great to eventually see the police memorial be brought forward? And she said, yes, it would, and we began to talk about that. And Rose is a go-getter, and here we are, Veterans Day, and this memorial is going to be dedicated today. So I think it's only fitting that Rose has a few comments about the police memorial. Rose?
Thank you. Such an honor to be here this morning. I have to quickly say, my dad was a World War II veteran, and he was in the Air Force. He didn't fly planes, but he was a master sergeant that kept the planes running. So he was played a very instrumental role. Now over to the policing side, we have a group of men and women in our country that every day, it's kind of like a war zone. They put their life on the line every day when they go to work. And they do a great job for us as citizens because they are the guardians and keepers of our safety in our communities. And when we have emergencies or whatever, we can call our 911, and I know here in Irving our responses are immediate and quick, and they're an honorable group of men and women. And it is such an honor. It's unfortunate that, my husband, not unfortunate about that, he's been a police chief for many years. And so on his watch, whether it be Dallas or here, whatever, we've always had young men that we've lost their lives. And they played a significant role in the department and in our community. And it's always such a tremendous loss. And so when I started hearing about the foundation of doing the memorial, we have a police foundation that was put in place years ago, therefore emergencies or for things benefiting the police officers. And I couldn't think of a better way than to have this memorial and a tribute to the individuals that have given their life for the citizens and for this city doing their job. So it's an honor today, and I'm looking forward to the dedication of this memorial. And it's an opportunity to say thank you to all of you for the work that you do for our city. And so I encourage all of you, when this is over with, to come over for that dedication. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, what can we say about the MacArthur Jazz Band that would do them justice? And remember, these young men and women are still in high school. So I look forward to seeing them many years to come, and I know you do too, and thank you so much for being here. It's my pleasure to introduce to you today our special reflection speaker. Tell you just a little bit about Tad Browning. Tad Browning, we like the fact that he came to be with us today, because even though he today lives in the hill country with his wife Key, and thank you Key for coming to be with us and with Tad, we really like him because he's from here. You see, he's really kind of an Irving boy. But Tad is, by profession, a photographer, a videographer, and a journalist, and a graphics illustrator. He's been that for more than 20 years. He served for 6 years in the U.S. Army as a combat photographer, serving more than 2 terms under General Barry McCaffrey and General Wesley Clark in the Republic of Panama. During his active duty years, he traveled to more than 20 countries and photographed 14 foreign presidents throughout Central and South America. That's a lot of traveling. Upon exiting the military in 1996, he took a position as a school and community relations specialist with the Grapevine Colleyville ISD, and he enlisted in the Texas National Guard as a broadcast journalist. Within a year, he was selected as a forensic photographer with the Texas Department of Public Safety, where he worked alongside the Texas Rangers supporting their crime scene investigations. Early in 2000, he acquired an audiovisual production position as a civilian for the Army at Operational Test Command at Fort Hood. By 2002, he was promoted to branch chief and assumed the duties of overseeing the audiovisual support for operational testing. Since the events of September 11, 2001, however, Todd was called into active duty, and he served 2 tours in Iraq. Recently, he was promoted to the rank of First Sergeant, and he is assigned to the 10th Mobile Public Affairs Detachment, where he mentors and oversees both print and broadcast journalists. Tad remains both an Army civilian and a citizen soldier with the Texas National Guard. He's an accomplished photographer with hundreds of published images. He's received numerous awards for broadcasting and journalism, and has provided graphics and photo work for 4 books. He notes that he's a descendant of Elizabeth Patton Crockett, wife of Alamo hero Davy Crockett, but we know him best as the descendant of Helen Widener and James Widener, and that's why he's from here. And our Irving boy moved off, most accomplished gentleman that and I know you will enjoy everything he has to say to us, or Sergeant Tad Browning.
First off, thank you all. I'd like to recognize a couple of military dignitaries that we have from here in the city of Irving. Tally Parker, he's a Korean War vet. Bob Moffett, World War II vet from Iwo Jima. Jack Hobbs, Dr. Ben Thomas, James Widener, Clyde Hogan, Joe Watson, Tommy Gonzalez, and others we may not know from the city of Irving. Now I get to the part where I actually have to read a little bit. My fellow soldiers and veterans, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today to honor all of those who have served our great country and our nation, past and present. All over our country today, Americans are gathering together to remember and pay tribute to veterans. It is a great honor for me today to be asked to come here to speak. At exactly the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, a bugle call to cease fire sounded, ending World War I. A year later, President Woodrow Wilson issued a proclamation declaring the national holiday Armistice Day. In 1954, President Dwight Eisenhower officially changed the name of the holiday to Veterans Day. After the Revolutionary War, President George Washington said, "We owe these veterans a debt of gratitude, indeed a debt of honor." Today is our chance to remember those who have defended America when our borders, our way of life, and our people were threatened. It is not only service members and their families who have answered the call of duty, it is also the American people who support the service members by honoring their service and welcoming them home. And we thank you too. For 236 years, the men and women of the United States Armed Forces have answered the call to serve. They have come from all walks of life. They have been native and foreign born. They have represented many different races and religious groups, yet they all share a common bond: selfless service and sacrifice. The first colonial American soldier who died at Lexington Green in 1775 made the ultimate sacrifice for an idea that they could form their own nation. Since then, generations of soldiers have worn the uniform. Our veterans crouched in the muddy trenches of Europe, confronted the enemy from the rocky crags of the Italian Alps, and struggled up the sandy beaches of Normandy. They froze through the bitter winters in the mountains of South Korea and steamed in the soggy jungles of Vietnam. They've chased terrorists over the 10,000-foot mountaintops of eastern Afghanistan and squinted against the dusty wind on the bleak, empty landscapes of Iraq. But that's not all of our veterans have done. Beyond fighting wars, our soldiers have engaged in humanitarian and peacekeeping missions. Our soldiers have protected our citizens when they desegregated schools and registered to vote. Our soldiers have traveled to faraway places in countries torn apart by war and conflict to stand in the middle to maintain peace. Our citizen soldiers also stand ready to respond to natural disasters and support the security of our nation and its borders without hesitation. The mission and the theater of operations may change, but our service members will always step forward when there is a job that needs to be done. They are, always have been, and will continue to be ordinary people who are placed in extraordinary circumstances. And they always end up doing extraordinary things. In 1990, I lived here in Irving, Texas, when I enlisted into the Army as a private first class. A lot of people know them as PFCs. When I joined the National Guard in 1997, I did so right up the street at the National Guard Armory here on O'Connor Boulevard. I have risen through the ranks to first sergeant, not because of the Army, but because of my dedication to duty, to my country, and my desire to ensure our way of life continues as my father before me. At this time, I would like to recognize a private first class in the audience, my father, World War II veteran. Jim, if you'd stand, please. It has been my great honor to be your son through all these years. Without your guidance and love, I would not be the person I am today. Thank you for your service to your country and for the freedom that you leave to me and my children. Thank you for your service to your community and honoring us here today with your presence. Without Americans like yourself who answer the call of duty, we would not have the country that we have today. I was very excited to speak today at the opportunity. Thank you, Sharon, for the opportunity to come up here and be part of this Irving's Veterans Day celebration. And like any soldier, I prepared. I got 20 pages of notes, and that's generally what journalists do as well. So during the course of my preparation, I received a phone call from my daughter. And she asked me a question: is there pride in the military? And, you know, I told her that it really depended on what how people were engaged in the military, what their walk of life was as to how they reacted, and whether or not there was pride in the military. Unfortunately, my daughter is not here with us today. She's in school on this holiday because there's no legal requirement that schools close on Veterans Day. The average soldier spends 365 days per year defending our country. For the combat veteran that has spent 5 tours, that's 1,825 days that they've served our great nation. So I return the original question my daughter asked: is there pride in the military? And I look around the room and I say, yes, there is. It's an honor for me that all of y'all are here present today. My question, this is not really, you know, I'm not pointing fingers, but what do we do when we honor our veterans? We come to Veterans Day celebrations, and we honor them by buying them dinners and saying thank you when you see them in uniform. And you know, the country has done a wonderful job at honoring us and what we do, and I thank you all for that. But if a soldier can spend 365 days defending everyone in this country, shouldn't everyone in this country spend at least one day honoring them? Our children learn by going to school. What are they not learning by going to school? Should a high school student ever have to ask, is there pride in the military? What questions will future generations ask? Another question I was thinking about on coming over here today was, couldn't we just extend our school year one day so that we can't give those students the opportunity to honor our veterans by coming to events all over the country? Before we leave today, I would like to read something to you that I think sums up this special day. It was written by Marine Corps chaplain Father Dennis Edward O'Brien. Some of you probably have heard this, but I think it's worth repeating. It is the soldier, not the reporter, who gives us freedom of the press. It is the soldier, not the poet, that has given us freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, who has given us the freedom to demonstrate. It is the soldier, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to fair trial. And I would be remiss if I didn't say it is the police officer that keeps our streets safe. And I want to thank all the police officers in the city of Irving for being here today. And thank you for honoring them with the memorial. What a wonderful thing to do for the city. It is the soldier who salutes the flag, serves under the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, who gives the protester the right to burn the flag. God bless our nation's veterans wherever they may be. and God bless the United States of America, because all the service members today and the veterans of yesterday were still free. Thank you.
Yeah, that was very, very persuasive and fitting as almost an introduction that I need not make now. A few years ago, Assistant Chief Terry Zettel came to me and said, you know, what do you think about putting a memorial to firemen and police in the Irving Veterans Memorial? And I said, that is a very good idea, and it just is a natural consequence of service that our military and then our police and fire. So this few months ago we got to have the commemoration with Chief Molina of the firemen, and today we're going to dedicate the police memorial. It is my privilege to introduce Chief Larry Boyd.
Good morning. Let me start also by bragging on this band behind me. I have a daughter who spent her middle school years and her high school years in band, and so I know how much work goes into that, especially if you want to be as good as they are. Having sat through all that, I developed what they call in the business musicality. And so I was over there tapping my toe, but trying to control myself with all these police officers in the room here, because I got a reputation to uphold, but it was not easy, as good as you guys were, so I appreciate that. It truly is an honor for me to be here on this 11th day of the 11th month at this event that started at the 11th hour. To honor our military veterans. And as you've already heard, we have a double opportunity today, and that is to have you help us properly dedicate a lasting memorial to the Irving police officers who have given their life in the cause of justice. I especially want to thank the families of Officer Glenn Holmes, Officer Aubrey Hawkins, and Officer Andrew Esparza for their attendance. When he dedicated the National Police Memorial, former President George Herbert Walker Bush said that carved on these walls is the story of America, of our continuing quest to preserve both democracy and decency, and to protect a national treasure that we call the American dream. And so what we're going to be dedicating here, and we have the opportunity in just a few minutes, is to dedicate a memorial to Irving's chapter in that national story. Like the thousands of police officers whose names are on that national wall who have fallen in the line of duty, our officers, Officer Glenn Holmes, Officer Aubrey Hawkins, and Officer Andrew Esparza, whose names are on those walls as well. Those officers weren't just doing their job when they gave their life on those particular nights. They were men on a mission who wanted to help people and wanted to mold a better society. And they, in pursuit of that mission, gave the ultimate sacrifice. So as we come together this morning, it's our fervent prayer that we not add any more names to the memorial that you'll see in just a few minutes. But it is right that we have this opportunity to accept and appreciate the fact that we have this permanent place of honor for our fallen officers. And so to that end, I would like to thank the Veterans Park Memorial Committee for their work on this, for the City of Irving, the Irving Police Foundation, Assistant Chief Terry Zettel, and all of the individuals who have worked tirelessly to make this place of honor possible. And what we will have now is the fact that it will serve forever as a reminder of the price paid by these officers in the service of their community who gave their life for the cause that they believed in. And so I just want to end by saying, first of all, may God protect their memory. May God comfort the families, and may God protect the Irving Police Department. Thank you.